Hey everyone, Nam here again, back to do my weekly NFL predictions. This time doing the Week 13 segment for the 2022-23 season. I want to recap real quick though, because I did pretty well. I went 12-4, just to tell you how close I was to even doing better than that. I took Tampa Bay over Cleveland. Tampa Bay gave up a late touchdown and ultimately lost in overtime. So I could have been 13-3 there. And then Baltimore was up, I believe, by two touchdowns or at least two scores in the fourth quarter. And if I had gotten that right, that's 14-2. And Seattle went in the overtime and they had a chance to win it in there. So, I mean, yeah, it shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I mean, I really could have been 15-1. Heck, I mean, I even took Tennessee over Cincinnati, and that was close. So, I mean, tight games all the way around, and a couple games that I could have gone either way that I lost. But I'll take 12-4 any week. Starting with the Thursday night game between Buffalo and New England. I think I'm going to take Buffalo if they want to succeed. It's interesting because New England had the best defense against receiving, but Justin Jefferson exploited that, and Vikings were able to come and win with last week from that. So if Josh Allen and company, division matchups are always tougher though. But if they can exploit that, he can maybe find Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis in the passing game. But I'm going to go with Buffalo in this one, but I think it's going to be pretty tight because of being a division match, and the whole AFC East is pretty close. Washington versus New York Giants. Take New York Giants. I wonder if they're going to be trending in the wrong direction. Uh, Last week they lost. They were ahead at halftime against the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys it was pretty much the Dallas all second half. So we'll see how Giants rebound here. I'm going to take them here in this spot. Denver versus Baltimore. Denver. I think the morale is deflated there, and Russell. There's a lot of you know drama, I think, within the locker room with Russell Wilson. I saw some things. I didn't read them, but it just seems like might be just, bit of a rift. Baltimore, two deflating losses where they were up big in the fourth quarter. How's that going to go for them here? This should be a game where they should capitalize on rebounding, though, and they should take advantage of Denver here. I'm going to go with the Ravens here because of that. Pittsburgh versus Atlanta. I actually take Pittsburgh here. I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is necessarily the future, but he's doing enough to keep them winning. I'm not saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are even going to make this playoffs this year, but enough to keep them in games and uh, competitive from here on out. I'll say at least, but uh, except maybe when it comes to the division games, you just never know. But I got Pittsburgh in this spot. New York Jets versus Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota here. Um, I think that loss to Dallas, the way that they were beaten, was a good thing for them. It humbles you, it refocuses you and recenters you. They got back to business and they came away with the win against a tough New England team. Uh, it's always a humble thing when you lose the way you did and you're able to learn from it. So Cleveland versus Houston, I'm going to just take Cleveland. Houston's just the worst team right now. Jacksonville versus Detroit. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville with the way that the momentum that they created and Trevor Lawrence is having, especially comeback win that he did and the performance and numbers he put up. Detroit, I'm not sure. They got DeAndre Swift using him mainly as a passing running back, and then I think it's Jamal Williams who they'll use to get the yards between the tackles. And they have St. Brown at wide receiver. Sometimes he's hit or miss, but when he's on, he'll produce. But I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one. Green Bay versus Chicago. Part of me wants to take a Green Bay just because historically, at least, and especially under Aaron Rodgers, they've done well. But um, it remains to be seen what happens with Fields, and even if Fields play, what's he going to be? Is he going to even use his legs to help the offense? Uh, I'm going to just go with Chicago though, but you know, division matchups are always tough. Tennessee versus Philadelphia. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Seattle versus the LA Rams. I'm going to take Seattle. Miami versus San Francisco. I want to take Miami in this spot. Um, we'll see how that goes. San Francisco might have lost Elijah Mitchell for the year, so we'll see what that means for the 49ers offense and what they do going forward. Kansas City versus Cincinnati. I almost want to say Cincinnati here. I think this is going to be a shootout between Burrow and uh, Patrick Mahomes. We'll take Cincinnati. Just it's our upset pick of the week, I guess. LA Chargers versus Raiders. We'll go with the Chargers. Indianapolis versus Dallas. We'll take Dallas here. And then Monday night game, New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. I'm going to say Tampa Bay comes away with the win here. So those are my picks for week 13. Feel free to let me know where you agree or disagree. With that said, as always, I'm Nam, and always use your noodle.